Hey up! Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Piggy Pen's Tube. This morning, you've caught me just thinking about my next buddy. This is a buddy that I'm doing with Leandre of Leandre Crafts, and I'm looking forward to it. But you know, I'm going into my winter. But Leandre is in South Africa, so she's going into something totally different. So this is what the image that appealed to her. She's helping me touch Worlds of Wonder. So I was thinking, as I was looking at the image, about buddying, and I said a while back I was going to do a video on buddy etiquette, and maybe if you're new to colouring, we discuss a little bit more about what buddying is, if you've heard the phrase. So this video is very much aimed at new colourists, but actually experienced colourists can help me sort of expand on this subject a little bit. So if you watch the whole video, it's not a long one, it's quite short, and you've got anything to add, I'd love to hear it. So definitely, get in the comments and share your thoughts if you're an experienced colourist who has had lots of buddies, buddy relationships with people and buddy pages and, so on. And if I've missed anything and you're a new colourist, ask me questions. There's no daft questions on this channel, so I'm relatively new. I'm sort of heading to 5 months in now, 5 months into my colouring journey. And the points that I'm going to touch on today are all things that have sort of entered my head as a new colourist coming into colouring and having a relationship with people online. So maybe, I've done buddies with people that I've met through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. So anyway, that's what I thought I'd talk to you about as I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for this page, which, by the way, I think I'm going to maybe use these new Lindor chocolates as my inspiration. Not only do they come in a gorgeous wrapper. This is shortbread flavour. Oh God, is the oat better than a Lindor? It's like silk on your tongue. That's a different subject though, yeah. So, lovely cup of coffee as well. Take a slurp. You'll be glad to know if you don't like eating or drinking noises, I always edit them out. Buddying. What is buddying? Now, when I first got into colouring and I was looking for inspiration online, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I heard the phrase, not so much on Facebook. In fact, it's hard to find a buddy on Facebook unless you go to Chromatic Collective Facebook group. I won't go into that subject today. But yeah, Instagram and YouTube, they're all about bringing people together out there, content creation, making new friends. It's fantastic. So what is buddying? Now, I've been in this game for a few short months and I've yet to understand where the concept came from. People have been colouring as adults and online for about 10 years, so maybe more. I'd be interested to know who first came up with the concept of buddying. Who invented buddying? I've no idea. If you know, if you were colouring 10, 15 years ago online, who invented the concept of buddying up? Obviously, in all sorts of other things in life, we buddy up with people, we team up with people at work, don't we? We team up in sporting events, but yeah, I don't know where the buddying thing came from, but I think it's fantastic. Let me just say that straight out of the gate. So what would be the reasons that you, as a new colourist or as a continuing colourist who likes buddying, what are the reasons that you are looking for a buddy? So it could be that you are wanting to make new friends. That was certainly an aspect for me. It could be that you actually do think you perform better as a colourist, or you create better art or pages with support and advice. So maybe support and advice is the reason that you want to find a buddy, so you can kind of bounce ideas off your buddy. Or sometimes you just like this is a little bit like me. I just love the kind of surprise swapsies at the end where you both finish your pages and then you swap them and you see each other's pages, and it's a lovely thing. It's like when you used to watch makeovers on daytime TV. everybody loves a before and after, and it's not the same as that, but it's similar. Everybody loves to see different versions of the same thing, and that's why I love making these videos after my colour alongs. I've already got, for example, in this Rita Berman colour along that I've just done, I've got pages coming in now, completed pages, and they're all so different. Wait till you see the video on that, it's going to be great. But yeah, so it's always exciting to see how different somebody else has coloured a page to you. So yeah, reasons for buddying, it could be to make new friends, it might be that you want that support and advice, and a little bit of critique, if you like. In college, I went to college to do graphic design, and one of the first things we did when we started that 2-year course was we got set up in what we called crit groups. So it's like, you know, criticism, but constructive. So we used to talk to our crit group about all our work on that course, and people were constructive. So they might say, do you know what's your strongest point in this layout that you've done is this, but actually I think this isn't working for you, you'd be better maybe doing this, have you thought about trying that? So healthy sort of constructive criticism, or you might like the fun surprise swapsies, as I said. So once you've decided if buddying is something you want to do, how are you going to go about finding your buddy? What ways can you kind of ask people? So you can watch videos and listen, and I think this is probably the best way. If you feel like you want to buddy with some of the people that you may be looking at on Instagram or watching on YouTube, people that you admire, I would watch their videos and listen and then kind of respond accordingly. So for example, when I first got into colouring and I first started watching YouTube, I was a big fan of Jess at Colouring Bumblebee, but that's exactly what I want. I want a big fan. So I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to ask Jess to buddy up with me, because she's going to have loads of people asking her. That's why she's often committed to, 40 pages in a month, because she's a lovely, lovely person. And I dare say she very rarely declines buddies. So I didn't ask her outright until she made a video and she said she wanted to colour in 2 books that following month, and I had both books. So quick as a flash, I got in touch. I thought, quick, before anybody else gets in. And I messaged her, and she was so gracious and lovely. She said actually yes to both. I said, I've got these books. If you fancy buddying in any, I'd be definitely up for it. And she says actually she'd do 2. So we did one that month, and we did one. I think we skipped a month, and then we've just done one in November. So it must have been September and November that I buddied with Jess. And I enjoyed them both times. So I was really, really pleased that she'd put that out there on a video. So listen, if you are wanting to buddy with somebody that is kind of a big creator like Jess, I would just listen and, pick up on what they're wanting to, what kind of books they're wanting to buddy in, and then ask them off the back of that. You can also reach out in any comment section under an Instagram image of somebody that you follow, under a video in the comment section. You can always ask for a buddy. That's a good way to do it as well. And they don't have to have said that they're looking for buddies, but you can always ask. There's no harm in asking. But I'm always a bit conscious that I'm not annoying anybody. I feel like they'll feel obliged to say yes. That's probably not the case at all, but it's just something I like to bear in mind anyway with some of the bigger creators. I mean, God, I've got a list a mile long of my favourite creators that I'd love to buddy with, and slowly but surely I'll be plucking up courage and asking them. I've got a buddy with Colouring with Kay this month. I've just actually finished my page, and I'm so excited about it. That to me is like a celebrity buddy, because I love her channel. I have done since I started colouring, and she's a fellow Northern lass, I think, lady, more ladylike than me anyway. So yeah, so watch, listen to people's videos and respond accordingly. Reach out into the comment section. That's another way you can do it. Or you can DM them, I suppose, if you feel like they're approachable. You can drop a message directly to them and ask them. But how then, if we move on now, how do you choose your buddy? So how do you choose who you want to buddy with? It is kind of important that you think about these things, like, why do I want to buddy? Because you want to get the best out of the experience, I think. So how do you choose a buddy? Well, you could look at people who have similar book collections to you. I actually think this is really important because myself and a lovely lady who I now consider a colouring buddy, colouring friend, you know, she asked, I think she got in touch with me, but over the course of conversation, we came to the conclusion we should probably try and buddy. But then when we looked, it was really difficult to pick a page because we've got very different tastes in books. She loves a grayscale, and I don't have any grayscale. So she loves Christine Karen, and I had none of them. She had loads of RJ, and at that time I just had one RJ. So it was a bit tough. Luckily, we were conversing about all things from dogs to relationships to, you know, so the buddy aspect was second to that. But we did find it difficult to pick a page together, so that's something to bear in mind. Similar book collections, you know, do you share similar books as the person that you want to buddy with? Do they have a similar passion for a certain media? So are they a big, like, for example, polychromos person, and you're a big polychromos person? I mean, what better way to get better using a media than working with somebody or talking to somebody that also uses that media? So do they have a similar passion for a certain media? Are they a watercolour colourist, and are you interested in getting more into that? So that's something you can think about. Maybe you're just a big, massive, girly fan, like, you know, I was with Jess. I actually did like a lot of Jess's work because she is a fan of polychromos, and they were my first pencils. So a little bit of those two things came into my decision to ask Jess for a buddy. And mutual promotion. Now, people are sometimes, I think, a bit embarrassed to talk about this, but 100% people are asking for buddies, asking to buddy with people in order to promote themselves through that person's page. So if you're a smaller creator and you ask a bigger creator to buddy, that bigger creator is going to show your work and your Instagram or YouTube handle on their completed pages video. That's great promotion for you. So if you're somebody who is keen to grow and on Instagram or YouTube, that is something that you might be looking for a buddy because you want a little bit of a how do we say, a little bit of a leg up. Luckily, you're in a community where the big creators, the medium creators and the smaller creators, they all support each other, and they do actually like giving a leg up to each other. So I think as long as you are not pretending it's for any other reason, if you're a genuine person, they'll pick up on that anyway. But there's no harm in in being honest, and sort of, this could be mutually beneficial for us. It might be two big creators who in different sort of, a watercolour one and a pencil one, that want to come together and have a little bit of mutual, promotion. This, I don't think a lot of people would be this frank and sort of say, yeah, this is why I'm asking you for a buddy, because I really want you to show my picture and share my handle on your big channel with all your lovely subscribers. So hopefully a few will come over to me. I think it's a topic that's like a slightly taboo promotion in this game, but it shouldn't be. I'm not huge on, I don't need to feel I've got what I wanted out of my channel. So if I stayed at this amount of subscribers now, I would be happy. And I'm finding it's just growing nice and steady now. And if I'm honest, did it interest me? Why did the big creators that well, it's only Jess really. Who else have I buddied with? I haven't really buddied with any big creators. I tend to, I don't know why that is actually, now I'm thinking about it, because I'm scared to ask them. So I've not really sought out buddies for mutual promotion yet. But it's not something I think you should be embarrassed about or, secretive about. It's you know, it's a nice thing. Everybody likes to give everybody else a leg up in this game. So yeah, so choosing a buddy, similar book collections, similar passion for a certain media. Maybe you're just a fan, like I was when I asked Jess, or maybe you are looking to get your pages out there on other people's channels and on other people's Instagrams. So yeah, other things to consider then if we move on. So these are really, really important. I've come to realise only in this last month actually. 1 minute. Choc break. I used to save wrappers as a kid. Quality Street wrappers. I always thought I was going to make some, you know, collage out of them. It's called, in mixed media world, it's called, what is it called when you save stuff? Ephemera. Is that right? Ephemera, I think. Anyway, sorry about that. I shouldn't have left these on my desk. They're begging to be eaten. All right, so we've covered the reasons for buddying, the ways that you can ask for a buddy, how you may choose your buddy, and then some considerations to think about before you approach somebody to buddy with you. So ask yourself, what do you like as well? So what do they like? What do you like? Do they like a chatty buddy? Do you like a chatty buddy? Now, a couple of people have talked to me recently and sort of said, we were actually on the subject of finding friendships, and people were saying, I tried buddies. At least a couple of people said, I tried buddies, but I didn't really get what I wanted out of it, because we decided to buddy with, I buddied with a couple of ladies, and we decided to do a page, and then we didn't speak for the rest of the month, and I were hoping to kind of chat a little bit with people who like the same things as I do. That is actually quite an important point, because you don't want your buddy to feel like they didn't get anything out of the buddy relationship with you. So I think it's important to have that conversation and think about what you like. Do you like chatty buddies, or are you more just interested in the kind of surprise swapsies at the end? Not wrong with that. I love that aspect of buddying, the old, surprise swapsies. Do they want to share progress shots? This is really important as well. Now, I keep buddying with Kath Colours pages, and she's always finished before me, and I love buddying with her. But I swear to God, when I see her pages, she's so good, and I love her style. When I see them, it sometimes messes with my head, and I go in a direction I don't always, I struggle to come back from. I did a pumpkin page with her in Halloween, on a Carlson's Halloween, I think it was. And I've just done one with these deer, and I loved both her pages so much. I put loads of pressure on myself now. Kath gave me options. She said, do you want progress shots? And I said, yeah, because I'm nosy. And if she asks me again, when we buddy together again, I'm still going to say yeah, because I want to see what she's doing. Of course I do. I like a chatty buddy. If I'm busy, I find it really difficult to commit to a good conversation with people on text, and I don't do phone calls. So I'm kind of somewhere in between. I like the surprise swapsies at the end. I definitely want to see progress shots, unless we're doing something, we're doing it like a fun challenge where we want it to be a surprise for whatever reason. And I do like chatting, so I think you've got to think about what you want out of it and what they might want out of it. So again, conversation to be had there with them when you first approach them, but be prepared to think about these things. A lot of people get into buddying, and then they're so happy that somebody's agreed to buddy with them. They go off and they think, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do during this period while we're buddying. So yes, some considerations there. Do they like a chatty buddy? Do they want to share progress shots? Do you want to see their progress shots? Do you both prefer surprises? What do you want out of it? Find a partner that's going to work for you and what you need, and make sure that you're giving them what they need out of the buddy relationship. This sounds like, wow, I never knew there was so much to think about. Well, I didn't, but I do now, because I'm coming to the end of my busiest buddy month ever. I've had like 20 buddies or something ridiculous this month, or 21. Definitely had 21 pages to do. And I think they were all buddies, because I put a shout out for people to help me with my untouched books, didn't I? And everybody has been amazing. So I'm a bit rushed off my feet at the end of this month, because it's been a busy month anyway, beyond just colouring pages. So yeah, I'm a bit like my back's to the wall at the moment. I can't believe I'm stopping to make this video. Ain't got time for this. But every single buddy that's buddied with me, I so appreciate them. I needed to buddy in November to help me touch my untouched books. That was my reason for buddying, and I'm getting used to, and I'm getting better at asking my buddies what they want as well. So, you know, it's something to think about. Don't go into it blind. Have a think about these things before you approach somebody. And then you need to discuss timescales, because this is important. And I've talked to, I think it was Jess I was talking to, and she's like me. She would rather have a clear deadline. And deadline, wow, that sounds serious. This is colouring, it's supposed to be fun. Deadlines are fun to me. But what the worst thing for me, and this whole video is my perspective on buddying, and just some things that I've come across. So please, I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it, as always. But for me, I like a deadline, because it helps me prioritise. Say I had 20 buddies in November. How do I know which one to do first? You know, so somebody, for example, they were going away on holiday at the end of November, so they wanted theirs done for 21st, so that's we agreed on 21st. And so on. So being realistic, sometimes you might want to do, take 2 months for your buddy. If you're doing a big, intricate, heavy pencil double page spread, you might want to say, shall we take 2 months for this? Just ask, talk to each other. But make your deadlines clear. So, you know, already in this first conversation that you're having with the buddy, you're confirming a lot of things, and you're getting a sense of what they want as well. And that's all really important. And keeping your buddy informed, this is so important. So if you buddy up with somebody, you agree your deadline. If you can't complete that page that month, or you've ruined the page and you just want to scratch the buddy completely, just talk to your buddy, because the chances are, certainly towards end of month, they might be really busy as well. So they might be thinking, because I'm never going to cancel on anybody unless, you know, there's something that means I can't be sat at my desk colouring. So say if I went into hospital or something happened, you know, like something that really interrupted my plans. Otherwise, I'm going to go balls out and pull out all the stops to make sure that I follow through on my commitment to my buddy. That's what I will do. And I will probably be rushed off my feet, but I still won't cancel on you. Now, that's because I'm not right in head. So don't do as I do. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Do your own thing. Listen to your body and listen to your mind. I kind of thrive on being busy like that. But if you're getting, you know, you're starting to think this ain't going to happen for me this month, please speak to your buddy as soon as possible. The worst thing you can do is leave it to the end of the month and just drop it on them, because they probably just spent say, I don't know, 31st of October, they probably spent colouring your page thinking, I'm not going to let her down, when really they were probably praying for you to cancel in that particular month. You just don't know. Your buddy is never going to be upset with you if you go to a mid-month and say, do you know what, I can't complete this buddy with you, I'm really sorry. They're not going to be bothered. And if they've already done their page, they're still not going to be bothered. You've helped them complete a page just by threatening to buddy with them. So keep that in mind. Don't be scared of saying, I'm struggling actually this month, I don't think I'm going to get it done. You can extend your timescale, you can just cancel it altogether. I've not had to do this, but I know just through making friends in this space, nobody is going to hold that against you, for sure. So do not worry about that. But yeah, make timescales, keep them realistic, but make things clear. And then you might want to add some fun additional elements to your buddy up. that month. So you might have decided on your page, is there any other fun additional elements that you want to add? So for example, you might want to do a palette challenge where you both do the same page and you choose the same palette, same colour palette. You might want to do a media challenge where you both say, shall we both do this page in watercolour? You know, and give that a go. And then you can also maybe swap styles. So say if you are two different colourists but have, and I really want to do this with Holly Berry Colours because she is one of my colouring besties and I get on with her great anyway. Do we have the same colouring style? No, not at all. We have got some of the same books now because she's influenced me to buy a lot. You know, she's just like that. But I would love to swap styles with her, and we mentioned it kind of flippantly, but I think it'd be a good idea. So she has very high standards for her own pages. She demands a lot from herself. So her pages are always, you know, quality. She won't rush a page just to get it done. She wants the end result to be fantastic. I'm sure she has occasions where she might have an off day. But, and I'm much more... So she likes really smooth, beautiful pencil shading, great blends and, you know, burnishing and, oh, that gorgeous style that we all love. Whereas I'm more, you take a look at a buddy I've just done with Dana. It's on my Instagram, some mushrooms and critters from Wild Nature by Raider Prince. And I used gouache for the first time in this colouring journey. And it was brilliant. It speeded things up, which were fantastic. But it involved me painting quite freely with gouache. And then I just got my luminance pencils and I did what I call scruffy shading. So there's no blending. It's like this. You see on this little... so that's what I call scruffy shading, where you're giving an indication of dark. You're not trying to make it look like a smooth blend. So I do that on top of paint sometimes. Now I can't see... Well, Holly says sometimes she colours what she calls grungy. When you look at one of their grungy pages, it's what one of my nicely blended pages would look like. So yeah, I'd love to swap styles with her. Maybe that's a fun challenge that you might think about doing with a buddy. Maybe with a buddy that you've already buddied with a few times and you've built up a good relationship. But yeah, I've done a palette challenge before and I right enjoyed it. It was great. And then one of the other things to think about is communication. So that's kind of what I've touched on through this whole video so far. So communication is super, super important. When you're sending that first text, there's no right or wrong way to do this, guys, by the way. This is just my advice. If you come to me and sort of said, what is this buddying all about, Jo? And I want to buddy with somebody, but I don't really know how to go about sorting it out. This video is just the advice I would give you as somebody who's recently been new into asking people for buddies. All these things that were questions in my head, they're still fresh in my head. That's why, you know, I'm making this video. So communication is something I've banged on about the whole way through. So when you're approaching somebody, you're going to be asking them. So this is kind of to recap on the communication thing. Get in touch with them. Tell them you'd love to buddy, why you want to buddy with them. So I enjoy buddying when I love it when it's a really chatty buddy. Is that something you would like? When they say yes, do you like progress photos? Is that something that you'd want to see? Or do you prefer a nice surprise at the end? And do you have any timescales in mind? So there's no harm in getting, once they've said they'd love to buddy with you, get these questions all out. Just nail it down. Nail it down. And then you know what you're doing. You're not left with any more questions. And then finally, the thing that I want to mention is, and me and another newish YouTube creator had a right good conversation about this one night, because we buddied up, and through the course of that buddy, I've got to, you know, we've chatted quite a few times on, you know, content creating and colouring and buddying up, and we both had all the same things that were making us scratch his head, because we were sort of saying, when it comes to posting, who should post first? Because I had it in my head that some creators, especially on YouTube, preferred to wait to not show their pages until their completed pages video. Now I tend to post a lot on Instagram through the month. So if I did a buddy, normally I would want to post my picture, and if they let me, I would want to post theirs. This is a buddy I've just done on Instagram. I don't generally put anything on YouTube until my completed pages video, but say if that person doesn't post on Instagram but only posts on YouTube on their completed pages video, so do you owe it to them to wait? You know what I mean? Is it right that you show followers online their page before their subscribers see their page on their channel? All these things were in my head, and they were also in this other lovely creator's head. And we were like, yeah, I don't know what the right thing is to do. And we were sort of, yeah, I mean, somebody's got to go first. And what if somebody, what if that's an aspect that you're considering? Like, should I be posting their page before they post their page? Well, somebody's got to post first. And then how long do you wait? So into the new month, if it's a completed pages video. So this is if you're a creator, isn't it, I suppose, not just a colorist. How long do you wait? If you're going to wait for them to post it first, how long do you wait? They might not put their video out till the 8th of the month, whereas you might be raring to go on first. Well, the answer to this question on when is it appropriate to post, how is it appropriate to post, is just make sure you have a conversation with them. That's all I would say. Some people, I know that there's groups out there on Instagram that so say, like, I don't know which groups do this, but say, you know, like the Dragon Spell group or the Alien Worlds group, they will have a certain date of the month when you shouldn't share your pictures before. It's just like an agreed thing. So just have a conversation with your buddy. So I always do this. And I did it with Kath the other day. We finished our buddy, and I said, so that's great, Kath. Thanks very much for buddying. It's been awesome. Just remind me, I normally post my pages once they're complete. If it's a buddy, I'd love to post yours with it. Would you like me to post without yours? Or do you want me to even wait till the end of the month? Which I'm always happy to do, to be honest. I don't care really on that subject. It's just I'm an eager beaver. I'm giddy. I like going, here, look at what I've done. Here, look at this page I've done. I don't always feel excited to show pages, to be honest, but I think as somebody with a channel, I think it's important to be honest when I've had an off day as well. I've got a couple of pages this month that I'm not too proud of, so check out my completed pages video for November when it comes out. But yeah, I'm eager to always post, but yeah, some people, like, you don't see, for example, Jess again, you don't see her completed pages really until the completed pages video. So I thought the first time I buddied with her, I waited. I didn't post I finished way before her, because obviously I was excited. I'm the fan. So I was excited and I waited for ages. And I waited till she put her completed pages video out, and then I posted my page on Instagram. And so, because I didn't have a channel then, I just posted my page on Instagram, but I waited for her to put a video out first. And she said to me afterwards, we were on this subject, in fact, when I was talking to the other lady about buddying, I said, you know what, I'll ask Jess. And when I asked her, she said, oh no, I wouldn't expect you to wait. But she said, I think she said, I won't quote her in case my memory's wrong, on the last buddy I did with her, she went, oh no, you don't have to wait for me, post it on Instagram if you want. So I was like, all right, cool. So you know that I would have known that the first time I buddied with her if I'd have just asked, but I didn't. I was too busy fangirling and been like, you know, quite pretending to be casual about it. Oi! Were you backing it? Pretending to be casual about it while inside being really excited and forgetting everything I wanted to ask. So I hope this video has been just a little bit of help. It's one colouring friend to another. If you've just got into colouring and you're interested in buddying, I hope just me covering some of the points that, you know, I came across has helped you. So I hope it does help. So, you know, think about why you want to buddy. I suppose that's where you're going to start. The different ways you can ask, how you're going to choose your buddy. Why do you want to buddy with that person? You know, there must be a reason. Considerations, so whether they like to chat a lot through the buddy or whether they don't. A chatter will go well with a chatter. Now, if you're looking for chat and you've buddied up with somebody who doesn't like chatting, neither of you are going to get out of it what you want. So keep it in mind. Timescales, be realistic, make deadlines clear. Think about adding fun elements. I'd love to do more palette challenges with people, but I don't think everybody likes to be hemmed in by a palette. But yeah, I'd be up for palette challenges. And don't forget about communication. So just ask, just talk about everything as you set the buddy up, and you'll have a lot happier time and you'll probably get more out of it. And yeah, finally, think about posting, just being conscious that you are showing somebody else's work as well. So just make sure that they're happy for you to do so. Right, I better crack on because Leandra, oh yeah, and this is another thing, don't forget, ask them where they are in world. When you're picking a page, if you're looking at all pictures of, you know, snow and snowmen and Christmas, they might not be religious, they might not celebrate Christmas, they might be in Southern Hemisphere and going into their summer, so they're thinking of going surfing, not sledging. These are all things that you need to consider. So, but yeah, I saw this with Leandra as an opportunity for me to enjoy a little break from the winter stuff. So I'm more than happy to colour this lovely summery catering van. And that's what I'm going to do today. That is my Wednesday sorted. Right, have a wonderful day, guys. I better put these away. No good will come of this. I'll just have this one last one there. Yeah. Birthday chocolates. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Ta-da for now. Right, colouring.